If I can get everyone to have a seat. So I have the privilege of introducing two awesome and dynamic young people for you, for your hearing today. First, we'll have Miss Ashley Smith. Well, actually, they're going to come and they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we will break off into the rap session. But first, I have Miss Ashley Smith. She is a 2021 graduate of Florida State University, and she is currently, I'll wait. She is currently working on her master's degree in psychology, clinical mental health counseling at UNF. So, like I said, she's an outstanding young woman. We're gonna give her a few minutes just to talk about herself a little bit, and then I will bring the second person to our stage as well.
I wasn't really expecting to speak about myself, but yeah, I'm Ashley Smith. Like she said, I'm 22. I graduated from Florida State with my bachelor's in psychology. I don't know, I feel like I have a lot of advice to offer. I've had my own journey with my faith with God and my own struggles, so ask a lot of questions because I don't want to just like talk to y'all. So once we start the session, I hope that y'all have something that you want to ask. I don't really have anything that I'm uncomfortable speaking about, so feel free to ask because I want to be able to help you. But yeah, I hope that you receive something from what I get to speak to you guys about today.
All right, if I could get two chairs to the middle, please. Our next speaker is Brian Jordan. He actually came in this morning from Savannah. He is a 2020 Savannah State graduate in mass communications and digital design. So I'm gonna let Brian come up and talk to you guys a little bit, but can I get two chairs in the center, please?
Good morning. I don't like that. Do it again. Good morning. That's what I like to hear. So, as some of y'all may know, my name is Brian Jordan. I'm Miss Dean's son. I came to y'all from Savannah, Georgia today. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. My birth certificate says Shands, Jacksonville, so Duval County in the building. Make some noise. All right. So, graduated from high school in Atlanta, moved down to Savannah in 2016 for school, graduated in 2020 with my bachelor degree in multimedia and digital design. In mass communications is the degree field terminology. A little bit about what I do. I am a DJ, promoter, and booking agent for artists in Savannah, Georgia. So how many of y'all know Rod Wave? How many of y'all know Quando Rondo? How many of y'all know WAP Spin the Bin? How many of y'all know Lil Papa? So it's my job to go out and get those artists and book them for performances and shows throughout Savannah. And not only now, my mom don't even know this, so y'all getting a sneak peek. I just accepted a position working with a label that I've been working with known as Clubhouse. We partner with SoundCloud, and I will now be their promotions and merchandising director. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. Once again, I'm an open book, so whatever questions you got, just let me know. Really, my high schoolers, upperclassmen, don't be scared to ask. Y'all are really, I'm here for y'all too, but you upperclassmen, that's who I'm here for. So if you got it on your heart, you want to ask it, ask it.
All right. All right. So, also, just to acknowledge as well, we don't have great students without great parents. Ashley's mom is here. Miss Tiffany Smith is here as well. So let's acknowledge her as well. All right, so question number one for our panelists. And guys, I'll wait. Describe your high school experience and going into college.
Okay, so my high school experience, I went to Paxson. It's actually like right up the street, if y'all know it. Thank you. Go Eagles. I was really involved. I was in the IB program, so it was like super rigorous, and I really didn't have a lot of free time. But at the time, I was like a cheerleader. I did National Honor Society. I was senior class officer, so I was really busy. But it was like I was trying to live this life for God, but a lot of the people around me weren't doing the same. Especially going to a school with people who, they have all different types of beliefs. So I felt really isolated at the time, and felt like I was the only one that was trying to live right. But I don't know. It felt like I was working towards some greater purpose at the time. But I don't know. I wanted things that I thought I was supposed to want, right? I wanted a boyfriend. I wanted to go to parties every week. I wanted to feel like I was the most popular person and all of this, but I had most of it, but it still wasn't really like fulfilling for me. But yeah, like I had a lot of things on paper that were making me feel like I was supposed to be somebody and like I was successful. But some part of me still kind of felt like something was missing because I wasn't really focusing on the greater purpose that God had for me at the time. I was trying, but it was hard to focus on that with all of the outside influences. But I graduated, I got my IB diploma, so I didn't have to take like English and a language credit when I got to college. But getting into college, I lost a lot of friends like right before my first semester. Just because you grow apart, but it was really hard for me at the time because it was like this new phase of life that I didn't know what was come from it, and I lost the people that I was used to having support from for so long. And I was depressed. I was depressed bad. I was mad at God. I felt like he had forsaken me. I didn't understand why he would be doing this to me. So I drifted for a long time, and I was angry for a long time too. But even still in that, God still had me, and he helped to keep my eye on the purpose that he had for me, and even helped me to find my career that I'm in now, and being able to gain purpose and joy from being able to help people with my words. So even within that, I still was able to feel God's grace, but thankfully now I'm able to acknowledge it and be able to use it for the community. Because even opportunities like this I wouldn't have taken because I would have thought, oh, I don't have enough to say, or I'm not the person that can be the one to connect to them. So I don't know. I'm walking in obedience now, and thankfully it's working out. But yeah, I'm in my master's program before, like I said, so it's super like hard, but it's all about time management. I guess I can get into that later, but because nobody tells you what time management is, they just say to do it. So I'll try to get into it later, but yeah, I think that's pretty much my experience so far.
So, my high school experience, for the most part, it was pretty set in stone. I started off high school, I was an athlete, played football from 5th grade all the way up through junior year of high school. Due to injury, I couldn't play no more. So mine was pretty set. It was school, practice, more practice, school. That's all I did. That's all I knew. But junior year, walking away from football, it opened my eyes some because it was like, all right, so there's more to this world out here than just sports. There's more to that I can do in this world besides being just another football player. Going into college from high school, it's I don't want to say culture shock, but it's like you wake up with all this freedom all of a sudden. Ain't nobody there to tell you what to do. Your mama not gonna make sure you make your bed in the morning. Your professors is not calling home to make sure you come into class. Everything is on you at that point. And
you determine how your college matriculation goes, how you spend those 4 years in college. If you come out better on the other side of it than when you went in, or did you just waste 4 years of money? You get what I'm saying? That college or high school to college transition, it's all about you and what you want to make out of it. So if you come out of high school knowing, all right, bet, I want to be a pediatrician, I want to be a veterinarian, I want to be a music producer. So when you get to school, those are the folks you start looking for. Look for the upperclassmen that don't mind helping out a freshman. Look for somebody that's in your degree field but already ahead of you. That's who you look up to. That's who you want to make your circle around you to be, because if there's somebody that's where you want to be at and they're willing to reach back and help you, it'll make your process so much faster.
All right, our next question. And I'm going to skip around some of the questions because I may hear something that I think needs to be said. Is there a time when you had to rely on your faith to get through a tough time in your life? So this could be high school, college, or currently. Please share on that.
I'll say in high school, I definitely did have to rely on my faith because I couldn't rely on what I was seeing. Like, it seemed like everybody was doing the things that I was being told that I shouldn't be doing. So I had to rely on the understanding that what God was telling me to do was actually what was best for me. And it was hard. Like I said, it was a struggle, but I definitely had to lean on what I wasn't seeing and lean on what I knew to be true from God. But I definitely feel like now I'm having to lean on my faith just because there's things that I don't think I can do. People around me aren't necessarily telling me that I'm made for this and all of that, but God is telling me that I'm made for it. So I have to be able to lean on that understanding rather than what I'm seeing, because what I'm seeing is not true. And if you only lean on what you see, you're not seeing what all there is to be seen, because God really has this whole other level to everything that we should be leaning on to understand that God is able to see this bigger picture and have foresight for who we're meant to be 30, 50 years down the line. So what you do today could help you be able to get closer to being that person. So I think that's what I'm mainly focusing on now.
I say for me, it's really two. Two of the biggest times I can think of is really first getting to college. So the reason why I stepped away from football and never came back, after getting hurt, it came back to me that a principal of mine at the time that I considered to be somewhat of a mother figure, even though my mom, that's my mama right there, if y'all ain't know. But I saw her as a motherly figure in my life. But she told someone that was my mentor at the time that she didn't know that I could never make it through college without playing football or make it to college without football. And I took that personally. And it took me believing in myself and my faith in God to be able to get to college, stay in college, because it's easy to get in. But the hard thing is staying there and finishing. Because like I said, you got all this freedom, it's parties every time you turn around. You got homeboys that don't even go to school that's on campus every other day. Hey, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go do this. But you got to remember why you're there, and the reason why let me say that again. You got to remember why you're there and the reason why you're there. For not just yourself, but the people that's looking up to you. I went to school, finished. Now I got a younger brother at Troy University and another one at Georgia Southwestern University. So if I wouldn't have did what I did and held my faith and kept it solid and finished school, how could I have set that example for them to now be off in college and doing what they need to do to finish?
All right. Now, everybody may not want to go to college, or college may not be that place for them. What type of advice or encouragement would you give to them?
Well, that's not my experience, but from what I can tell from like friends who didn't go to college, I would recommend like going to job fairs or just being able to use your resources, because a lot of times you'll have family members who work somewhere in the city and they'll have an opportunity for you to be able to get a job. But I think it's more so focusing on your passion, maybe your passion isn't working a job. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you want to do something else, you know? So I think focusing on your passion will get you where you need to go. I know you want money, so nobody wants to be broke, but you know, it might take sacrifice. And be patient. Be patient and ask God for guidance, because God will put you in the place that you need to be, even when you don't know what you're supposed to do next. So I would recommend just using your resources for sure. Mhm.
My bad.
All right. So, if you could go back and talk to your high school self, what would you say?
If I could go back and talk to high school me, calm down. Really, like, calm down. It's not the end of the world. Like, coming out of high school, going to college, I just figured, like, I felt behind somewhat, because, like, I'm going to college. I knew what I was in school for at the time, but I didn't know if that was what I wanted to be in school for. You seniors, upperclassmen, if it's one thing I can tell you, make sure if you do decide to go to school, that you're going for what you want to go for. That you're going because you want to be there. You want that degree in whatever field that is. Because if you go there and you're doing something because not you wanted to, but because your family wanted you to, you chasing that doctor degree because your parents want you to be the doctor, you'll never finish it. And if you do, you'll never be happy in that field. Back to the question. But really for me, really just calm down. You don't have to, it's not a race, and it don't have a finish date on it. When you finish it, that's when you finish it.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I think I would say the same for me, but also stop living for other people and stop trying to gain acceptance from other people and living for the approval of your peers, because you got to think about who you're looking for the approval from. Like, not to say who are they, but who are they? Like, when you have God to tell you who you are, why would you listen to someone else who doesn't know what's going on, blind leading the blind? Like, why would you listen to them to take their opinion and apply that and internalize that for yourself and make that choose how you want to live your life, you know? Like, everybody's not going to have the same journey, and everybody's not going to get there the same way. So you have to really understand your purpose and stick to that. And don't let other people shift you from that, because some people will want to see you fall. Everybody doesn't want to see you succeed. So you got to look at what are the motivations of the things that some of the people around you are telling you, because you don't want your purpose to be delayed by outside influence.
All right. Have you ever taken part in a community service project or served others? If so, what was that experience like?
For me, I grew up doing community service for the most part. My mom, a lot of y'all don't know what it is, but she's a part of like organization. It's a sorority basically, and so I spent a lot of my time, because it was just me and my mom living in Atlanta with them, giving back to the community, feeding the homeless, giving away clothes, shoes, toys, the whole nine. Even now in college, well, while I was in college, doing it as ways to get extra credit and stuff like that. So community service always been a part of my life, and it's been real important, and it teach you how to appreciate the little that you do have, because, you feel me, I ain't grow up silver spoon and fork, you feel me, it was me and her, and we did the best we could with what we had. But when you see somebody that's the same age as you, but don't have half of what you got, it puts you into perspective and makes you understand that you really got it made better than some other folks. I'll never forget, I was 12 years old at the time. I had a brand new pair of shoes in the trunk, and the little boy, 14, older than me, is walking through downtown Atlanta with a pair of football cleats on, but they so torn up and busted, like his feet is hanging out the bottom. I got a brand new pair of shoes, just bought me. I'm getting ready to go back to school. I know I'm gonna be clean first day of school, but something in my heart told me I couldn't go home to all the other pairs of shoes I already had in my closet, knowing he was out here like this. So I took them shoes, brand new shoes, out the box. My mama probably wanted to smack me across the back of the head, because I wear size 14 shoes, so my shoes ain't cheap. took them right out of the box and said, here, put these on your feet. And I ain't thinking nothing of it. She was like, you sure you want to do that? I did it with no problem. Folks wanted me to take pictures with him and all that. No, because it's not about that. It's about making sure that somebody has a better chance to get ahead. Because never knowing, giving him that pair of shoes probably could have made it to it, all right, now he ain't got to worry about stepping in a piece of glass, getting in his foot, keeping him out the hospital. That's just another battle that he's won that you helped out on. So giving back to the community around you, because without the folks around you, without that community, we ain't nothing. Without each other, we not nothing. It takes a whole village to raise one person. So if you do right by the person next to you, it's only going to come back to you in good karma. You do right, you get done right.
That's really good. Yeah, no, I always did community service as a child as well. Like my mom, she was always in like community service organizations. And so, yeah, so that was a part of my life. And it was always an opportunity to be grateful for everything that I have, because we're not struggling, you know? I can always want more. You can always be unsatisfied. It's always going to be something that you're not going to be able to have, but you're able to live. And I was able to have a comfortable enough life to where I was able to give back to people. We would do like food drives, school supply drives. But now I'm involved in my own community organization, and we're focused on like doing volunteer work for young women and providing them with the lifestyle skills to be able to just go out into the world and be able to, you know, keep up with themselves and not be influenced by the powers that be that want to keep you down, because they definitely out there. But yeah, I think it humbles me a lot to see how much my actions can impact people, and the things that I learn from the people that I'm able to help, because they always have something to give me. So yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity, and if you haven't done community service, I can get you into it, so just let me know.
All right. To add to Brian's story, he would always have this look on his face when he was getting ready to give somebody something. So that particular day with the shoes, he just looked at me, and I already knew what he was getting ready to do. So definitely a heart of service. Both of these young people are just, proving that it's not always about self. It's about giving of yourself. And that's one of the things that God asks that we do. And this is going to be one of the last questions that I ask, and then I'm going to try to open it up for them to ask questions. As an adult now, do you think that you were prepared for college and adult life from high school? If no or yes, please explain why and how you think you could have been better prepared.
No. Straight like that. I'm going to say no, just because high school, that's still K through 12. So at the end of the day, as you get older, your senior year, yes, those teachers, professors, they're more hard on you, but at the end of the day, they're still going to, all right, come on, you got to get you to graduation. They're going to give you that nudge. When you get to college, you have some professors that you literally walk in that room, and they say, the chapter we're working on is chapter 2, section 3 through section 7. Read it, be ready for a test on Friday. There is no instruction. You teach yourself. There is no, all right, come to my class after school, we're going to study this together. There is none of that. You have to go get this information on your own. They're going to give you certain bits and pieces to focus on, but a lot of college is self-taught. There is no, now if you good, if a professor see you interested, don't get me wrong, they will do everything in their power to help you. I tell you, if you can get on a first name basis with a professor, I guarantee you will pass that class. I guarantee it. But they have to see you putting in that effort. High school, you can get by doing the bare minimum. College, you can get by doing the bare minimum, but once that GPA fall below a certain point, they're going to stop giving you that money to go to school. Not everything is coming out of your pocket. I know me, I couldn't afford paying for it out of my own pocket if I was to go back in time then. From now, still can't if I had to do it again, but I did what I had to do to make sure I got my piece of paper at the end of them 4.5 years or 4 years in a semester. So take time, enjoy your high school. I'm gonna tell y'all like they told me my freshman year. I'll never forget this. You're gonna look to your left. Look to your left. Now look to your right. The person sitting next to you, I can guarantee you is not gonna be the same person sitting next to you when you finish. And I can guarantee that. And that's just real because when you get to college, hold on. That's real because when you get to college, you gotta think, you're trying to go to school at this point.
He'll wait.
What you said? All right. But like I was saying, the person sitting next to you won't be the same person. And that's because real life happens once you in college. Not only are you trying to figure out school, but that stuff ain't free. Your mama not there to keep your refrigerator stocked. If your parents ain't got it like that, if the cafeteria not open, you on your own figuring out where your next meal gonna come from. You want them new J's at the mall, you gotta go work a job to get that money. They ain't no more taking care of you. Because all that money that they were spending on you in the home is now going to your tuition. So you gotta make it count and show them that you serious.
I got something. I'll say no too. I think I was prepared academically, but I don't think I was prepared for dealing with academics on top of real life coming in. Because like when I was in high school, I was sheltered. Like I wasn't dealing with the ways of the world as much as I thought I was. But like you were saying, like real world starts, it's more opportunity, less rules, more people. Like you want to be everywhere on every scene. So yeah, I think and real life hit me like a wall of bricks when I first started college. So it wasn't like I was eased into it, and you probably won't be either, because it's like you're outside of the security of your home. So things are gonna change, but I think I don't know what could have changed me being prepared for it. I think you just have to go through it to learn. Like you have to learn through the hard parts. Like you can't skip that phase. But I think what to keep in mind is just that it's all serving a purpose and to stay focused on the end goal. You want to graduate, so be focused on that end goal. Don't be focused on what's happening right now. Keep your eyes on December like it was for me, or May 2020, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Keep that date. Like, don't forget it, because you're going to want to count down every single time, okay? Because I know I was. But I think it also phase, you'll get through it. Don't feel like trouble lasts always, because it doesn't, especially if you keep your eye on God and ask for guidance when things don't make sense. But yeah, no, I don't think like I was fully prepared, but I don't really think you can be for an experience like that. So.
All right. So, guys, I'm going to open it up. If you guys have any questions that you would like to ask our panelists, please approach a mic if you guys have any questions that you may want to ask. They have given a lot of good information, a lot of knowledge and nuggets.
If you have something like more specific than the questions that we were asked, I would say maybe that's something you can ask, a little bit, I guess. If you want something more that you can apply to your own life, that's less general, maybe. Who is your role model? Okay. That's really hard to say because my mom is my role model, but let me think outside of my mom. I think, I guess I had mentors throughout like middle school and high school that showed me what a successful Black woman could really look like. Financial stability, a happy family, a successful career, because I don't think that that's the image that's always promoted for Black women. So being able to get nuggets and wisdom from them showed me that it was possible for me. And now I'm able to hopefully show younger girls that it's possible for them too. I'm still on a journey. The journey never ends, but I'm happy with where I'm at now and excited for what's to come for sure. So I would say, yeah, like specifically like Dr. Barbell Johnson, she's a family physician. She works at Mayo Clinic now, but she's always been super involved in her community, and she's always been super encouraging and really genuine and truly showed me that she cared about my success in life. And that goes a long way because it's hard to find people who aren't trying to get something out of you a lot of the time, but she never needed anything from me. So if you can find somebody like that, hopefully they can make a impact in your life.
For me, I have to say I have a few because I definitely had, like she said, I had mentors coming up through middle school and high school, but a few of them that really stuck out was, of course, my main mentor was a guy by the name of Mr. Jim Woods. Another mentor I had was a guy named Dr. Arthur Vaughn, Dr. Gregory Taylor, Dr. Mark Vincent, and you notice these are all, besides Mr. Jim, don't get me wrong, he's still good people. Besides him, all of these names that I'm saying have doctor in front of them. And these are all Black men that have doctor in front of their name. So that meant something to me to watch these guys come in, tailor suit, fresh haircut, hopping out of Escalades, Yukon trucks, Tahoes rimmed up. It meant something to me. It showed me that, oh, I can have that same power. I can have that same status. The fancy watches, the cars, houses big as on some of the schools that we was going to. The houses bigger than the school sometimes. It's bigger than the school auditorium. Seeing that gave me the real life, like being able to see it right in front of me is like, okay, if I do what I gotta do, I can be in that same spot. If I go ahead and handle my business now, later on, I can enjoy the spoils. I can be that person pulling up. It's 2025, my car is 2026. I can go get that Rolex, not the fake one. I can go get those Hermes shoes. I can go get the Chanel shoes. I can go afford that stuff because I handled my business back then. Seeing these guys come forward and still at the same time being willing to reach back and pour everything that they have for themselves into somebody that they didn't know from a can of paint. All they knew is I was another student coming through this school, coming through the K through 12 system. But they took that extra time to make sure that I understood that, hey, it's more to you than what the news say. It's more to you than what TV say. It's more to you than what social media says. You don't have to just be another ball player. You don't got to be just another rapper. It's more than that out there. Don't get me wrong. I chose the music industry as my way in life. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's all I know. But I know at the same time, same way I now get artists booked for shows, I could have been somebody's district attorney if I really wanted to, because I took the time and I believe in myself.
How did you manage your college life and your personal life?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think it's two sides to that question. I think it's time management, but I think it's also just like what you choose to do, I guess. But I say time management because I talked about it earlier. Nobody says what it is. I think it's super personal, but for me, like the super structured stuff does not work for me. Like I can't schedule out a task for each time of the day and actually get it done because I'm not going to do it. I like spontaneity a little bit too much. So yeah, but I think for me, it's just being really familiar with my schedule and blocking out time. I use my phone calendar for everything. I put talking to my friend on the calendar. I'll put a party on my calendar. If I bought a ticket to a party, I'm putting it on my calendar because I don't want to forget. And I want to make sure that I actually have the time to give. Stop saying yes to stuff that you don't have the time for. Make sure that you check your schedule, because then if you got to say no on the back end, you're going to feel bad about it. So, and I did that for a long time. But make sure that you actually have the time to give, and don't overextend yourself, because then you'll start getting mad at people because they want you to come here and come here, but you like, but they know I got work. Like, no, they don't. Like, or do they care? Like, you don't know if they care about your grades. They might just want you to come out to the party tonight. So you have to care. You have to care about what you give your time to. But I would say freshman year, you're going to want to be out. You're going to want to be out every day, at least every weekend, because it's going to be stuff going on. Yeah, like it's going to be stuff going on every day, everywhere. So I say do it, honestly. Do it, because you're going to want to know what it's like. And if it's not working out for you, you're going to be able to see that very quickly, and you're going to want to adjust. As long as you adjust, you'll be okay. But I'm not going to say don't have fun, because that's just not realistic. I had fun, and I still made it here. So, you know, use your best judgment. But I would say make time for what you want to do, whatever that is, and be sure that you're taking care of your own schedule, because the people around you will not do it. So do it for yourself.
I know, for me personally, I'm gonna be a whole 100% honest with y'all. I didn't separate neither. It was just life for me. It was, all right, I got this to do, and I wanna go hit a night. So at some point, I gotta do this and this so I can make sure I get there tonight. I've never been the type of person I'm not no honor roll student. I wasn't A-B honor roll. I might slide a C in there if I'm lucky, but I handle my business at the end of the day. You have to be on your own, for use of better word, you have to be on your own behind it. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. If you don't have it in you to do it, it's not gonna get done. Straight like that. They can make as many study sessions as they want. They can give you all the extra credit that you can ask and plead for, but if you don't make the time to do it, what's the point? I had a professor, I'll never forget, Dr. Alexander. This lady worked my last nerve when I was in her class, because she didn't care what your excuse was. She didn't care if it was you was at the hospital, you was at work, you had a funeral, nothing. She expected you to get that work done the same way the school expected her to have her class together. And when you held to an expectation, you meet it, and you hold yourself to that same standard. So coming through my freshman year, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was outside Monday through Sunday. I was at every party, I was at every club, I was at every kickback, house party, you name it, I was there. You can ask anybody I went to school with, I was there. But at the same time, I'm a night owl. So it wasn't nothing for me to leave a party and go type a paper until 6, 7 in the morning, because I was gonna be up anyway. But that's not for everybody. You have to find out what rhythms work for you, and also make sure you got folks around you that wanna have fun but are still there for the same reason you are. If it wasn't for some of the homeboys that I got, my big brother, I call him, his name is Shields. He go by DJ Shields. He DJ for Quando Rondo and NBA Youngboy. He's their tour DJ. It would be nights where I'm supposed to be, oh, we got a show in Macon. I'm finna hop in the car and go to Macon. Oh, we got a show in Darien. We about to go down to Darien. We got a show in Jacksonville. What you wanna do? Shields look at me and go, ain't you told me you had an assignment due this week? Yeah. Did you do it already? No. I see you tomorrow, little bro. Go ahead and go handle that. Ain't you supposed to be studying for a test? Yeah. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Go ahead and go handle that. You don't need to be out tonight. People like that is where it really counts. It was what counts, because they're gonna make sure that not only you stay focused how you're supposed to, but they're not gonna let you be defeated. Because in college, you can't be scared to fail. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's not gonna always go the way you want it to go. Straight like that. It's gonna be a professor.
Like, yeah.
You feel like they out to get you. You can't get a passing grade in this class for nothing. I promise you, it's gonna feel like that. But when you take that time to put in that extra effort, it's gonna show, and you're gonna grow, and it's gonna be a whole lot of prosperity.
Like, you gotta be able to go get lunch after you fail a test. Like, what?
Would you go back to college?
Would I go back? You mean like do
Yeah.
freshman year again, do freshman again, or like go back to school for another degree?
Go back to school for another degree.
All right. Me personally, I'm gonna say no, just because when I went to school first, I was in a whole different degree field. I was a Homeland Security major when I first went to college. My first 2 years, I was a Homeland Security major. It was going smooth, don't get me wrong, but hello? Turn me down a little bit. Turn me out just a little bit, just a little bit. But when I first I was Homeland Security, and it was going smooth until I found out I had to take Arabic. As a Homeland Security major, it's 3 languages you have to know: Spanish, Arabic, and surprisingly Russian is what we had to learn. I got the Arabic one, and I said, nope, this ain't for me, because I knew that I wasn't gonna take the time to actually study it and learn it. And it got to a point to where I'm just going to these classes, fighting through, like, all right, I guess I gotta do it. I done came here and committed. But it will physically make you sick if you dare doing something that you truly don't wanna do. That's why when she was saying college is not for everybody, it's not. If college is not for you, if you really don't wanna go through another 4 years of school, do not waste your time or your money. Don't. I don't care what your parents say, grandparents, who got something to say about it, don't do it. But if you do it, go there and put your best foot forward, and I promise you it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, I'll answer. I mean, because I'm back in college now. I didn't take a lot of time in between my undergrad and my graduate. I took like a semester off, which I kind of recommend. I don't recommend anything more than a year, because after that, you're not going to feel like going back. But I think something to keep in mind if you do go back is this going to be really different from your undergrad. It's not as fun. You don't have as much time to go out. You don't really want to go out as much because you have more work. And a lot of people actually have full-time jobs when they do graduate programs because it costs a lot of money. It's not for everybody. For me, it was necessary because I need it in order to apply for my license in like 2 years. So you got to think about what it takes to get where you want to go. But if you don't need it, don't put yourself through that because it's not worth it. So, yeah.
All right, are there any more questions?
I'm gonna explain it like this right here. If anybody wants to be a doctor, nurse, CNA, pediatrician, any of that, anything medical field, of course you're going through K-12. You have 4 years in your bachelor's degree, 2 years in the master's program. Some people take 1 to 3 years to do their doctoral, and then you still have medical school, and you also have your what is it? When
Residency. Residency is
where
like
you actually have to go
2
in the
years.
hospital and work.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go through all that, you don't want to be a doctor. I'm telling you that now. If you don't look at that and look like you want that challenge, you don't mind that frustration, find you something else to do. Don't put that burden on yourself just to walk away from it.
All right. Hello? All right. Are there any more questions? Eric, do we know what happened to the slides? Their slides?
Where the upperclassmen boys at? I know y'all got some questions for me. Holla at me. What's up?
Yes. You got a question?
That's what I like. Come on, little bro.
So how did y'all deal with like drugs and stuff on college campus?
On college campuses, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to a HBCU. I went to Savannah State, historically black college or university. Any HBCU you go to, 9 times out of 10, they were built slap in the middle of the hood. I'm just be honest with you, anytime right now. Whether you going to Clark Atlanta is in the middle of the bluff. Savannah State is in the middle of East Savannah. FAMU, come on, man, the biggest hill in Tallahassee, middle of the projects. But it's not like you have that problem there. It's up to you whether or not you make it a problem or you just living in it. You feel what I'm saying? It's people that's gonna use it around you. It's people that's gonna ask you to do it. It's people that's gonna ask you why you're not doing it if you choose not to. Yeah. But
at the end of the day, you got to remember who you are. And if that's not your thing, you walk away from it. And it's going to be folks that judge you. They're going to feel like you lame, you square. It is what it is. If that's not your lane, don't do it. And don't let nobody force you into something that you don't want to do. Because that's what college is. I'm going to tell you that right now. Trying to be a person that believes in God, you don't believe in doing drugs, stuff like that in college, it's a test, it's a walk of faith. I got it tatted on my chest in my freshman year, walk by faith. It go from this side to this side because that's what you have to do in college. It's going to be people that test you, try and convert you from other religions, try to explain you how your religion wrong, why you need to do this drug and what it does. It'll open up this third eye and this chakra, all types of crazy stuff. But you have to be a strong-willed and a strong-minded person because that same person that's telling you all this, in 5 years, if you stay doing what you do and stay clean and look at day 5 years later, I promise you, yours is going to be a whole lot better with a whole lot more rewards from the seed that you sowed during your time in school. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. So I went to FSU, and it's like a notorious party school. And then we was also right across the tracks from FAMU. So I got I guess if you consider it, the best of both worlds. But yeah, like you were saying, like, it's everywhere. It is gonna be everywhere, so don't think you're not gonna see it. So prepare yourself if that's what you're planning to do and go into college. It's gonna be there, but I think what you need to keep in mind is what you want for yourself. If you wanna say no, say no. Like, you always have the option to say no. And if somebody is pressuring you, you gotta reconsider why you would wanna be around a person like that anyway. But I think there's value in a sober mind. Ooh, I'm like, what? There's value.
Boy, I didn't even know that was back there.
Oh my God. Yeah, like, there's value in a sober mind, and I think that you're easier taken advantage of or to make decisions that you wouldn't usually make if you're not of a sober mind. So it's something to keep in mind. And if you do slip up, don't let that keep you from trying to do better in the future. Like, you can always stop. You can always limit yourself. You can always change the people that you're hanging around. So yeah, I think showing yourself grace within that, because it is very difficult because it seems so common and like everybody's doing it. So if you slip up, that's life. But yeah, just keep in mind what you want your mind state to be when you're out in these situations.
Was it hard walking away from football?
Was it hard? I'm gonna be honest with you. That was easily the hardest decision I have ever made in my life. You spend your whole life all my life I've been the biggest on every team I've ever played on, from Pop Warner all the way up through high school. I was the biggest, strongest. I wasn't the fastest. I was the fastest out the lineman, but I wasn't the fastest on the team. But that's all I knew. And I just knew that was going to be my future and how I was going to take care of myself, my future family, my mama, everybody. But walking away from it taught me that there's more to myself than just being on that field. Because after a while, if that's all you do and all you know, what happens when it comes a day that you can't play no more? Or say, for example, you go to college. Out of, I think it's like 365,000 guys playing college football in the U.S. That's from Division I all the way down to D3. It's over 300,000 guys playing football. They only take 1.7% of the guys that even come to the combine get drafted and end up on a team. Less than that end up on a practice squad or even able to go overseas. Like, for example, the Canadian Football League only takes 2 American players a year. That's all they're allowed to take. So out of, say, for example, 500 guys all playing in the SEC, only 2 of them is going to play in Canada while the rest are still out here trying to figure out what they're going to do next. And that's what you don't want to happen, is that football become
so much of your life that when it's time to figure out what's next, you don't have a what's next. So when guys go, if you want to play ball, little bro, I tell you, play ball, play with your hardest, play your heart out, leave it all on the field, every down, every play. But at the same time, there's more to you than having that football in your hand. You got to remember, at the end of the day, this is going to get you paid quicker than any of them pads ever will. Same way them players go into interviews, them players have to do interviews about themselves before they ever touch a football. So if you're not mentally stable, if you're not emotionally stable, if you don't have it up here, I'm not going to put you on my football team because you can't think fast enough or think or understand and I don't know how I want to put it. Basically, you can't learn a playbook if you ain't got it up here. The average NFL playbook is 275 pages long, and that's multiple plays per page. And you have to remember every scout team, every offensive play, the defensive side of the ball. If you're on the practice team, you got to remember all this. So, like I said, it was hard for me. Don't walk away from it if you really don't want to. I was okay with walking away from it. I cried my eyes out, boy. Like, I'm 25 years old. At the time, I was 16. I cried my eyes out because that's all I knew, and it felt like somebody had just took something from me that I couldn't get back. But now, if I would have kept playing football, I wouldn't be about to go on tour again like next month. I'm going on a 7-city tour starting in Santa Ana, California, Los Angeles, California, San Francisco, California, to Indianapolis, then Detroit and Chicago or something like that. It's a bunch of different cities. But if I would have kept playing football, those opportunities would have never came. I had 4 concussions coming out of high school. 2 that left me with some remnants that I still deal with today, like bright lights like this, I can't be in front of for too long because it starts to make my head hurt. That's the type of stuff that they don't tell you about in football. Look at RG3. RG3 had 1 to 2 good seasons in the NFL before he tore his knee up. Luckily, he was smart enough to be a sportscaster. Everybody don't get that chance. So if you got the chance to take it with football and run with it, go. But make sure at the end of the day, you got something you can fall back on.
All right, one of the students asked me to ask, and if you guys that are running the slides, if you could please run Ashley's presentation as well. They wanted me to ask if either of you were in any fraternities or sororities, or if that would be something that you guys are open to doing.
Me, I am not. During my time at Savannah State, of course, that's what you want to do. You want to be a part of the guys with the letters on their chest, especially for the guys that seem like who get all the girls, no matter whether they are upperclassmen, underclassmen. They on every scene, every party. They strolling during the fried chicken Wednesdays, you feel me? The yard jumping, homecoming, that's where everybody want to be. But you have to remember, those groups and organizations were founded for one reason, to help. If you're not doing it for that reason, do not try and put them folks' letters and colors on. I'm going to tell you that now because you're going to spend a whole lot of money and waste a whole lot of time. And when it come time, they just going to tell you no. But that $2,500 you just spent trying to be a part of that organization, they're not giving that back. But they going to tell you no, and that's it.
I didn't do it. At FSU, like Greek life, NPHC is like what the majority of the black community is made of. So it kind of felt like the only way to get connected with other black people. So that was like my main reason for wanting to do it and like be popular. Like, yeah, like they're like the cool girls on campus and all of this. And that's what you think. But like you can make your own mark on campus without being Greek. And you can make community on campus without being Greek. But if you want to do it, take it seriously, do community service, look on the websites, get the requirements together, and don't be afraid, and understand that you're already an asset, and understand what you can actually bring to the organization, not just what it can do for you. Take it seriously, because it's not a game, and if you want to do it, keep God in your life because you never know. But yeah, that's what I'll say.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our principal, Principal Daly. Eric, if you could please ask them if they could run her slides.
Can we give it up for Miss Smith and Mr. Jordan? What I absolutely loved was about how real your answers were. So it doesn't even matter when you went to college, that's the real. What they just gave you is the real. It's real life. When you step out of high school into college, it is the real world. I appreciated your answer about drugs. It's the real world. So how you prepare yourself, put God first. Remember what your parents have taught you. Remember what you've learned in church, in school, because that is the test. That is the test. When you cross over into adulthood in college, that is the true test. You will be exposed to everything the world has to offer. And if you don't have integrity, if you don't have that foundation, you will go astray. That is the truth. If you don't have people in your corner, I hear some chatting. If you don't have the right people in your circle, in your corner, it's going to be tough, extra tough. It's already tough, but it's going to be extra tough. So I appreciate you both. Thank you. Yes.
Can I say one thing? Ladies, this go for y'all too, but this to my fellas for real, especially y'all older cats, because I know what going on out here. We from Jacksonville. Everybody in here from Jacksonville, y'all know how Jacksonville is. If you decide to go off to college, when you come home, very first time you come home, you're going to have folks that come up to you and say, you changed. You think you better than somebody because you went off to school. You think you doing something because you went off to school to better not only yourself but your family. Don't let that phase you, because them same folks that you left here are going to be doing the same thing that they was doing when you left when you come back. While at the same time, you going to be advancing, going to new places, seeing new things that you're not going to pay for. Somebody going to pay for you to go do it. Why not? Never let, because I promise you it's going to happen. It happened to me. I had homeboys that I had been cool with since the 6th grade all the way up through 12th. Tight. We supposed to be best friends. But looked at me different because I decided to go to college while he stayed at home and did nothing. He's been back and forth to prison 3 times. I'm getting ready to go on tour for my 2nd time. Who did better doing what?
Dare to be different. Thank you. Thank you. You gotta dare to be different. You cannot be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Step out of what you've known all your life. Step out of that clique and do something different. You can't be afraid to do it if you want to reach somewhere. The moms in here, the 2 moms, you should be so proud. Can we give the moms a huge round of applause? So you saw the fruits of your labor, and it shows that you have done an awesome job raising these 2 young people. Let's give it up for the moms again. You can do better than that. Thank you. So we truly appreciate you all. You are now honorary alumni of Joshua Christian Academy. You are welcome to come back anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Give them another round of applause for me. And I want to acknowledge Ms. Dean. Thank you, Ms. Dean, for organizing this today. It was beautifully done. We appreciate it. I want to acknowledge our 2 9th graders. Thank you for stepping up to the plate and volunteering to do that off the cuff this morning. Can we acknowledge the Zealous and Jemiah? And of course, we acknowledge our 7th graders who did the pledges. Can we give them a round of applause? And as always, we acknowledge our media team. We have one last presentation. Is Lura Sean here? They're not here? No? Alexis? Are they here? They're all upstairs. I need somebody to come downstairs. Okay.
Question: how many 10th, 11th, 12th graders? How many of y'all have done a college application already? Raise your hand. 10th, 11th. Y'all got 12th grade too? Any 10th, 11th, and 12th graders? Anybody that has done a college application, SAT, ACT application already? Raise your hand.
A lot of them are probably upstairs, but they've been accepted.
Right, I was about to say, hey,
Got you.
decisions is going out, right? Yeah.
So Alexis is one of our seniors. I knew Rashawn if he's here. No? Jaleel? Can you come here, Alexis? All right, we're going to wrap up in a second, but go ahead. You could go ahead.
10th and 11th grade, if you haven't already, I'm going to tell you like this. Go ahead and take the SAT and the ACT at least. Really, you want to take it twice. But take it at least once before your senior year so you know what you're looking at. I promise you, the better you score, the more money them folks is going to give you, so the less money has to come out your pocket. I promise you. If you could walk away with paying nothing and somebody else paying for it, do it. But if you can, at least 1 to 2 times, and there are ways to do it for free if you go to your guidance counselor. I did it, so I know you can too. ACT, SAT, and if you ain't did applications already, you don't have to just be a senior. If you 10th and 11th grade, you can apply to for when it's your actual time to go, when it's your turn.
All right, thank you, thank you. So we wanted to acknowledge one of our staff members this morning. I'm gonna ask for all of our seniors who attended the trip to Jamaica during spring break to come forward. Those who are here, come on forward. Yeah, Jaleel, come on forward.
That's fun.
So for those of you who do not know, our senior class decided they wanted to take their senior trip to the island of Jamaica. 3 members of staff here, that is their country of birth, including myself. So we did appreciate that you wanted to visit our country of birth. We went, we had a wonderful time. There was a total of 25 of us that left here on Monday the 13th and had a wonderful time in Jamaica. What impressed me the most, so several of the students on the trip are members of our chapter of the National Honor Society. And it was the vice president's idea to organize a service project. So ahead of us was shipped an entire barrel of food items to the Salvation Army. And one of the days we were there, we were able to visit the Salvation Army in Kingston and kind of see what they do there. So I was especially proud that they were willing to come up with that idea and spend time from their vacation to go visit a service organization. So can we give those students a huge round of applause? So I'm going to turn over the rest to our students here. Jaleel and Alexis will represent the seniors.
Good morning. At this time, I want to, take the time to show appreciation and some love to somebody who really deserves it. Whenever any of us in this room is feeling down, or we just need somebody to turn and talk to, she's always here. She's like another mother, you feel me? We appreciate her for everything she's done, everything she plans to do, you feel me? And it's just nothing but love. I want you guys to help me as well. Please welcome Miss McDonald up here. She helped us. Thank you. Ms. McDonald, on behalf of the senior class, we want to tell you that we thank you and we love you for all that you help us done. We love you. We want to thank you for always pushing us to do better and wanting to see us do better. It's not a lot of people out here doing something like that. And you're actually an inspiration to most of us, too. So we brought you these flowers. And then
Thank you, guys. And I just want to add, we wanted to acknowledge Miss McDonald because she was our internal travel agent. She organized the trip from beginning to end, even while we were there, even while we were coming back. She kept us informed. She kept us in the loop. She made sure everyone had a great time. So her vacation was really work, but we thank her for everything that she did. And of course, helping our students apply to colleges. We have had so many acceptances already this year. That's because of the work that Ms. McDonald does with the seniors. So let's give it up for Ms. McDonald. This concludes our chapel service. I'm going to ask Mr. Brunt. Can I lay hands suddenly? Can you close us out in prayer today? Thank you. If we could stand, we're going to close out in prayer.
All right, let's close our eyes. Can I get everybody's attention so we can pray, please? Thank you. Close our eyes, close our mouths, and let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you are here with us. Thank you